All right, guys, let's get out of this intersection. We got calls locked in. It's gonna cycle and it's gonna work. It's just not gonna be very efficient, but it's really hot and my family wants to go to the beach. So let's get back to the beach. Good morning, guys. We are gonna go on a little bit of an adventure in the Jeep. We're gonna go for a beach ride. I know a lot of people said they wanted to see that, so let's go ahead and do that. And then first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and get this top hard off. We're not gonna take the whole hard top off. There is a slight chance of rain and the tops are off. May have been a huge mistake. It's already super hot. Already sweating. Babe, you got to get to driving.
I'm trying.
Remember, guys, wife,
okay.
Have your wife drive. It's awesome. We're headed to the beach, but we just got a call about an intersection a little further north that we got to run out to. Supposedly somebody got T-boned. It's one that's a little bit further away from the city, so higher speeds, and people don't like waiting at those red lights when they think they're good to go through, and they'll run red lights out there. We've had calls about it before. Everything was fine last time we went out and checked it out, but we're headed there now to check it out. So we'll do that and at the beach. All right, guys, we are at the intersection in question. Let's just pull up to the cabinet here. Let's get out and just make sure everything's running right and working like it should. Again, anytime there's an accident at one of these intersections, we need to come out here and check and just make sure it wasn't anything that we caused, which I don't believe it was, but let's get out of here and check it out real quick. It does look and appear to have an issue with detection on phase 4. As you can see, I just locked in a call on the door switch. They weren't getting a call, and that's the phase over here for these guys. And this intersection is really far in between other intersections. So a lot of these people coming southbound, they're hauling butt. People going north, they're hauling butt as well. And then if people aren't getting the light on these side streets, they're gonna wanna run it. And people are doing 75, 80 mile an hour through this intersection, making it very dangerous because of the high speeds. But let's look into this detection issue and make sure everything's running like it should be. All right, guys, so I have discovered it is a detection issue, obviously, but what's going on? These cameras are having issues and not connecting right, and I know it's hard to tell. You'll see them flickering, and you can see these indication lights. This one's good. This one's out altogether, the second port, which that one's gonna be that phase 2 and 6. That camera's just out altogether. Let me unplug it. See that indication goes back, or you can see this indication light comes back on when it's unplugged. When I plug it in, it goes dark. So that means there's a short on that camera. This indication light, port 1, they're kind of blipping a little bit, so I think they have a little communication issues. What I'm gonna do, because it's the weekend, it's a holiday, we're trying to go on the beach ride, we're trying to get this Jeep set up. We are putting the top back on. It is super hot. But I'm just gonna end up locking calls in this intersection so it keeps on cycling, and then Monday we're gonna have to come out here with bucket trucks and discover what the issue is, whether the connector's bad or maybe the camera's bad, heck, maybe the CCU's bad, but we'll investigate more during the work week. All we gotta do for us to lock in some calls, what I'm gonna do is just put a call in 4, 3, and 2 and 5 should stay on a call because of this camera being out, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a hard one in on the door, lock one in, and I'll leave 6 and 1 out of it, possibly. Yeah, looks like that radar is picking up 6. When I just saw a car coming through, may actually have an issue too if it's locking in. Oh yeah, you know what? It's not even set up for, should be set up for TS2. So let me do a power cycle on this CCU and see if we can't get some of the detection back up and running. So go ahead and unplug it. It's powered off right now. Let's give it 10 seconds and then we'll plug it back in. I just plugged it back in, let it boot back on, and then we'll get reconnected to it and see if this kicks back on to the TS2. If not, we must have had a storm recently and maybe a lightning strike that popped it. It's kind of what I'm thinking now, is we probably just had some bad weather. We did have bad weather. It's the summertime, so every day we get random showers and a lot of lightning right now. So it does looked like it caused some damage out here at this intersection. I think that phase 6 and 1 camera might be the only one without the issue. All right, so with that hard reset, you can see the TS2 kicked back on. So that side should be working. These cameras might be working a little better. Let's plug this one back in and see. All right, that one just goes dark right away. So still think there's an issue on this camera, and that's that phase 2 and 5, that vector out there. So there's a short on this guy, that's for sure. Just leave that unplugged. We'll leave the others are plugged in, and I can connect back to it and see if it's going to run the intersection for a little while. Back to the Jeeping. We're almost back to the beach. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it with calls locked in, and it shouldn't really cause much of an issue because it's the weekend and not really the work week. And then when we come out here, we'll get it all sorted out, so people during the week have an easy time going to their jobs during their commute.
Hey babe, this ain't the beach.
All right guys, let's get out of this intersection. We got calls locked in. It's gonna cycle and it's gonna work. It's just not gonna be very efficient, but it's really hot and my family wants to go to the beach. So let's get back to the beach cruise. It looks like I've already been swimming, but let's get back, headed south and to the beach this time. Let's get to it. Y'all ever do this to your family? Hey kids, hey wife, I built this intersection.
All the time.
Don't worry, we'll hit the next one and I'll be like, oh babe, look at all the work we did on this one. And the previous one, pretty much everyone on this trip we've touched and done a lot of work to. I'd do it again. Babe, I built this intersection. Hey, and look, it looks like they finally took down the luminaire lights off the existing poles at this intersection.
It's a little crooked, babe.
It is a little crooked, that really upsets me. But it looks like the power company has finally removed their luminaire lights. We can finally come out of this intersection and rip those wooden poles down. Looks like they may have even cut down the span that they had running to it. So all of that works out great. We got some work we can do out there on this coming up work week. A lot more traffic out here. Summertime, it's getting hot. People want to do fun things. Y'all just make sure to be safe. Guys, we have finally made it to the beach and in some dangerous parking right here. Gotta watch these kids. These people are gonna be flying past. Don't really have much of a buffer zone between parking and the beach, but it's what you get for enjoyment. Here, let's get into the sand. Ooh. Oh yeah.
Avery.
Y'all gonna make a mess in that thing, but let's do it. Maybe we'll find somewhere that we can drive off into. That woman's a trooper. She done left me with just the cooler. She's got all the chairs and everything. And the kids. It's a good time to hop back in this Jeep and hurry up and leave, right? Come on, guys, let's close this up. Let's go. What a beautiful day here in the Gulf Coast. And the beaches, the water may not look the best, but I'm telling y'all, if you're looking for something that's not gonna just break the bank and you're wanting to travel and come see a beach, it's still beautiful out here. And man, it is so much more affordable than going to somewhere like Destin or Florida, anywhere in Florida. Alabama's even getting a lot more expensive nowadays. But the Mississippi Gulf Coast, if you can mine just a little bit of a dirtier water and some industrial stuff, and it's a beautiful, affordable place to come visit to, and you absolutely should. Yes, baby. Some of y'all may ask, why does the water look like this and doesn't just look crystal clear like in Mexico or Florida or something like that? And it's because on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, we have something that's called the Barrier Islands. We have a multiple strand of islands that run across the Gulf Coast on Mississippi side of it that kind of protect us from natural disasters like hurricanes. It kind of helps us out during hurricanes and different storms, but it also makes it leave all the mud and dirt and debris kind of right in this one area. And between here and the Barrier Islands out there, if you go south past the Barrier Islands, like Horn Island and all those, you start getting that crystal clear water the further south you go. But right here on the beach, it's going to be this brown water because it just holds all this sediment and trash kind of deal. But it's not dirty. It's fine to play in. You may hear rumors of people like, oh, I got some flesh-eating bacteria. May be true, but those are probably just gross people that live in gross areas too. So don't believe all the rumors. It's just fine and it's safe to play in. It just looks a little muddy. It's time for us to wrap it up, get cleaned up, back in the Jeep, get loaded up and get out of here. These kids are hungry. We're hungry. Where do you want for lunch? We had a great time. I hope y'all all enjoyed the beautiful views. Gulf Coast is beautiful. Let's go get some lunch. Let's go get some dinner, whatever it is. It's like 3 o'clock, so probably a good time for dinner. Yeah, we got some steaks at the house to cook, actually. That sounds great. But we're gonna get loaded up in the Jeep and we're gonna get out of here. All right, guys, we are back at the house, getting the Jeep all cleaned up. Got a few extra things we're gonna do to it tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned for that, for tomorrow's upload. Definitely have that posted as well. Getting this guy all cleaned up, and then we need to get cleaned up, and then we're gonna go enjoy dinner. So I do appreciate y'all for watching, and as always, have a great weekend.